Hi, Living It Out Writers, Team 1. It's so good to have you this week, and let's get right into the outline. Home for the holidays, week 2, Lee Powell is back and speaking, and so it's been really nice to work with him again, and I think you'll see that too with what we are going to do this week. And so pull up your outline and let's go through it together. Monday, give yourself an opportunity to grow. So one of the things that I've done is really take each of the points that Lee will make over his talk and make that each a day. So you'll notice that there is a theme of give as part of Home for the Holidays. And Lee is really speaking into this idea that what if our hearts aren't aglow? What if this is not a great time of year? The Avoiding a Blue Christmas is in part where this is coming from, and I think that song might tie in. We aren't going to tie in as close to that, but you'll see that we give a nod back to the series and really that whole overarching idea about home being not a place, but it's a frame of mind. And so you'll notice that I made note of that on the days where we can tie that in. It's not heavy through here. The home is a frame of mind instead of a place and time. But I do want you to keep that in the back of your head as you're writing this week. So let's get to it. Monday, give yourself an opportunity to grow. The big point here is times of stress are an opportunity to cooperate with God to grow. Again, picking up on this give piece, you'll see that on each day. That's really the antidote to having those feelings of a blue Christmas or not really feeling like our hearts are aglow. And so Lee's really leaning into the give part of this. And for Monday, you really want to sit in that place of, yes, there's stress and tension, but if we look at it in a different way, again, change our frame of mind, can we look at it as a way to cooperate with God and really an opportunity to grow? So you'll see my notes there that the principle extends beyond Christmas too, so I want to be sure and make that point. And then you'll be sitting in James 1. Note, Monday and Tuesday are sitting in the Message. The rest of the verses are coming from the New Living Translation, which we're a little more used to. So have some fun with that. Tuesday is about forgiveness. I have to admit, Tuesday is my favorite day, so I hope one of you chooses to do this day. I found a great link and story about Jason Gray and what he did as he looked back over the story of Joseph. While we did that last week, and Ben talked about Joseph last week, Lee's not going to talk about forgiveness from this perspective, but this was so good, and we get a chance to be complimentary, so I really wanted to use this resource. So you'll look at the song lyrics and then hear a little bit from Jason Gray about where these lyrics came from, where the idea came from, and this is where we can really lean into forgiveness being really the ultimate storyline of Christmas, and it is so cool. So even if you don't write Tuesday, I would highly encourage you to watch that YouTube video. I had a moment where mind blown. It was really, really cool. So I hope that you'll do that for yourself. Those verses then on Tuesday come from Ephesians 4, again, the Message there. So notice that it's talking about forgiving one another as quickly and thoroughly as God in Christ forgave you. We've talked a little bit about that again over these last few weeks of the Living It Out, so lean into the Christmas portion of that and have some fun with it. Wednesday is about reconciliation. Tuesday is about forgiveness, and forgiveness takes one. You'll notice that there. Reconciliation is about two people, but it starts with you. So that's sort of the tension point, is that we can't always make reconciliation happen, but we at least need to just take the steps that we need to do. And you'll notice there's a description of grocery cart relationships. Lee talks about limiting your grocery cart relationships, which means when you see them in the grocery store and they haven't seen you yet, are you turning around and walking the other way? And So that's part of that reconciliation piece that if you can tie in, that would be great. And I think that'll be a good reminder for people. I think Lee has used that example a few times, and it's always a good one. On Thursday, the give is giving the benefit of the doubt. You'll notice there that this is about when we love one another and what we commit to. I do want you to talk about that this is not necessarily about strangers and ignoring our instincts. Don't spend a lot of time there, but it's really the relationship piece of when we've made this commitment to love one another, our families, our spouses, our children. And so there is also a link there that has some practical steps that I'm hoping you'll be able to incorporate. I know space is tight, so do the best you can with that. Those verses come from Ephesians 4, and you'll see that there's a key phrase there too. Friday is about giving hope. This is tapping back into the memory verse and home for the holidays, being that we all have this longing for home. We all want to go home, but sometimes we don't feel like it here. And we probably, to be honest, this just isn't our home. So we shouldn't necessarily feel bad about those longings. And so there's a resource there that I thought was a terrific take on Philippians 3:20. Put it into your own words, though. I know it's simply written. I know the temptation is to copy and paste it, but don't. Really push yourself to take it and put it into your own words. So that's what I have for you this week. We're not really driving really close to each other in the same lanes, so you've got some latitude. Push into those live questions. Ask something that maybe is unexpected. When I think about forgiveness, sometimes our first thought is like, oh, well, who do you need to forgive today? And while that's a great question, is there some other way that we can come at it to help people see that in a fresh way? So just continue to challenge yourself around that. Those intros, as I'm looking through the Bible verses, we really have some room to play with. I did not go into super long passages this time, so the intros can go to 250 words and we'll be fine. And just remember, that believe it section is really your opportunity to teach. What is it in those verses that will help people change? What is the lesson for us that if we really did that in our life, it would look different? So that believe really bridges to live, and how we can really live for Him and be different because of it. So let me know if you have questions. I'll be around, and thank you so much for serving. Can't wait to see what God's going to do. Our best for His glory. I'll see you later.